It doesn't show up on blood work. Your surgeon probably won't ask about it. And yet it destroys relationships every single day. I'm talking about the silent death of intimacy after surgery. I'm talking about touch, connection, affection, desire, feeling wanted and chosen and close. And here's what I've noticed after talking to countless people living with ostomies. Living with chronic illness, disabilities, cancer, and body-altering surgeries. Most relationships don't lose intimacy because people stop loving each other. They lose intimacy because fear slowly takes over. Many couples don't even realize it's happening until one day they're lying beside someone they love, feeling completely alone. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Because if this has happened in your relationship, I want you to know that your relationship is not doomed. There is a path back. But first, we need to understand how intimacy disappears in the first place. And it usually starts with good intentions. Welcome back to the Intimacy After Ostomy podcast. I'm Trina Ricketts, the Intimate Ostomate. And today we're talking about lack of intimacy in relationships after surgery. Nobody wakes up one morning and decides, I'm going to stop being affectionate with my partner. That's not how this happens. Instead, surgery happens, pain happens, fatigue happens. An ostomy happens, cancer treatment happens, a disability happens, and the road to recovery happens. And suddenly your attention is focused on survival. You're worried about healing and complications and about how you're going to get through the day. Intimacy moves to the bottom of that list, which makes sense at first. But then weeks turn into months and months turn into years, and something begins to change. You stop reaching for your partner's hand. You stop initiating hugs. You stop kissing for more than a little second. You stop cuddling and flirting. You still love each other, but life has become medical, and medical doesn't feel sexy. For many people after surgery, there's a fear that they never say out loud. What if my partner doesn't find me attractive anymore? What if they see my scars or my bag or my body and they're disappointed? What if they feel sorry for me or turned off by me? What if intimacy reminds them of everything that's changed? These fears are normal and common. And the problem is that fear makes us withdraw. We stop initiating touch and we start protecting ourselves from rejection that may not even exist. And our partner often has no idea what's happening. They simply notice that we've become distant. So they stop reaching out too. And now we have two people who are standing on opposite sides of the same bridge, waiting for the other person to cross first. I don't think the greatest threat to intimacy is a lack of sex. I think it's the disappearance of touch. Because touch is how relationships stay alive between sexual encounters. Think about it. A hand on your back, a hug after a difficult day, holding hands during a walk, a kiss before leaving the house, cuddling while watching television. These small moments are like oxygen for a relationship. They're easy to overlook because they're ordinary, but remove them and intimacy starts to die. The feeling of connection inside the relationship begins to disappear. This is what happens when lovers become roommates. And it is the stage many couples describe to me. They still love each other and they still care about each other and they're still committed, but they no longer feel like lovers. They feel more like roommates or patient and caregiver or co-parents or business partners. The relationship still functions, but the spark is it's just not there anymore. They're not flirting anymore, and the anticipation is gone. Often people assume this happened because sex disappeared. But I don't think that's always true. It starts when affection disappears. And unfortunately, many people only give affection when they want sex. One of the biggest lessons I've learned through my own journey and through coaching others is that many people think they're starving for sex when they're actually starving for connection. They're starving for being held and touched and desired and seen and chosen as a lover. That's important because it means intimacy can be rebuilt even when penetration isn't possible. In fact, many couples find their way back through non-sexual touch and emotional connection first. And when sex comes, it may or may not include penetration. There are some kinky ways to make love that are just as good as penetration, if not better. These are topics best left for private one-on-one conversations, but I promise you they're easy to learn. Intimacy doesn't usually return through grand gestures. It returns through tiny moments like a passionate kiss, holding hands, a cuddle before sleep. My favorite, naked hugs, a massage, sitting close together, touching simply because you enjoy being close. Intimacy is not a destination, it's a journey. And every small moment of connection tells your partner that you're still there, that you still choose them, and that you still want their naked bod against yours. If there's one thing I want you to remember from today's episode, it's this. The silent death of intimacy rarely begins with a lack of love. It begins with a lack of connection. And connection is something that can be rebuilt, even when we're sick, even after surgery, even after years of distance. You may not be able to return to what intimacy looked like before, but that doesn't mean intimacy has to be gone. It simply means you're being invited to create a new version of it that fits the people that you and your partner have become. One that honors the bodies that you have now, and one that reminds both of you that love is still alive. Thank you for spending this time with me today, and until next time, remember, you deserve to feel wanted and you deserve to feel connected. Intimacy is far bigger than what your body can or cannot do. If today's episode felt like someone was describing your relationship, I don't want you to carry that weight by yourself. One of the hardest parts of losing intimacy after surgery is believing that you're the only one going through it. And I promise you, you're not. If you'd like somewhere to start, I've created a collection of completely free resources on my website. You'll find practical guides and tools designed specifically for people navigating intimacy after illness, disability, or body-altering surgery. And if you're looking for more personalized support, I'd love to meet you. I offer a free, no-pressure Zoom call where we can talk about your unique situation and the challenges that you're facing, and whether coaching might be the right next step for you. Even if we decide, or you decide, that coaching is not what you're into at this moment, my hope is that you'll leave the conversation with more clarity and more hope than when you arrived. You can find everything at intimateostomate.com. Your surgery changed your body, but it doesn't have to write the rest of your love story.